All right, let's talk about that one question that probably hits you every single month. Okay, how much of my salary should I actually be investing? It can feel super confusing, but today we're going to solve that puzzle. We'll give you a really clear, simple path to getting your systematic investment plan, your SIP, up and running.
So let's just get right to it, no messing around. We're here to answer one big question, and we're going to give you a simple, straight up answer.
This is it, right? This is the one. The question that can feel a little overwhelming, especially when you're just starting out. You want to do the right thing for your future, of course, but you also have a life to live today. So what's the magic number? And here it is. The answer is probably way simpler than you think. The ideal amount to put into an SIP is somewhere between 10 to 20% of your monthly salary. That's it. It's a fantastic guideline that works for almost everybody.
Let's make this real for a second. Let's say your take-home pay every month is 1 lakh rupees. If you follow this rule, you'd be aiming to invest somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 rupees each month. See? Suddenly it feels like a practical, achievable target, right?
So where does that 10 to 20% number even come from? It's not just pulled out of thin air. It's actually based on some really simple but powerful money math. It all comes down to something called the 50-30-20 rule. Honestly, you can think of this as the foundation for any smart financial plan. It's a super straightforward way to see exactly where your money is going and where you want it to go.
And this breaks it down perfectly. So, 50% of your income. That goes to your needs. We're talking rent, groceries, bills, the essentials. Then 30% is for your wants. The fun stuff like shopping, going out to eat, and entertainment. And that leaves us with that last crucial piece of the pie.
Yep, that 20% is set aside for savings and investments. And this is the key takeaway. This is exactly where your SIP money comes from. It's not some extra cash you have to magically find. It's a built-in part of your budget designed specifically to build your wealth for the future. Okay, so we've got the what and the why. Now let's get to the how. Let's turn all this knowledge into action with a really simple 4-step plan. Step 1, you gotta know your numbers, so calculate your monthly expenses. Step 2, and this is crucial, build yourself an emergency fund. This is your safety net, about 3 to 6 months of living costs. Once that's in place, you move to step 3. Start that SIP by putting aside at least 10%. And finally, the goal is to grow. As you get more comfortable, you can slowly start pushing that amount up towards 20, maybe even 25%. Now listen, if those numbers feel a little big right now, do not worry. The most important thing you can do is just start. Seriously, starting small isn't some kind of compromise. It's actually a really smart strategy. It gets you in the habit and builds momentum. And that leads us to what is, without a doubt, the single most important part of successful investing. It's not about how much money you start with. It's about something way, way more powerful. Here it is. This is the secret sauce. The amount you invest is important, sure, but it's the consistency. Investing that amount month after month like clockwork that truly builds wealth over time. A smaller, regular investment will almost always do better in the long run than a bigger one that's all over the place. I mean, this quote just says it all perfectly, doesn't it? The real power of an SIP isn't in a huge first payment. It's in the simple discipline of being regular. That is the key that unlocks everything. And remember, this is just the launch pad. As you get more confident and your investments start to grow, your whole strategy can grow with you. You can diversify your plan, maybe aiming for higher growth or creating more stability. You can even set up different SIPs for different goals, like saving for a house or planning for retirement. So, after all that, let's end with this question. We've talked about the numbers, the rules, but at the end of the day, investing is personal. It's about building the life you want. So the real question is, what dream, big or small, is that first consistent SIP going to start building for you?